In 2016, the Newark Police Department was sued by the U.S. Justice Department, which found a pattern of racial disparities in arrests, corruption, and excessive use of force. And while even longtime critics agree much progress has been made, the city remains under a federal consent decree to correct those problems. News 12's Brian Donahue sat in on one of those programs designed to rebuild the trust between the police and the community.
I wear this uniform. I also have to answer for his actions, her actions, his actions. You understand what I'm saying? So there's such a dark history with the uniform.
In a Newark classroom, people from either side of one of America's most bitter fault lines, police officers and the urban, mostly minority residents they serve, are hashing it out.
And we've got a whole community that we're trying to help heal from some real problems of that historical trauma. That it's not a historical abstract. That was very real for us right here in this town.
It's a program called Trauma to Trust, run by Equal Justice USA. It brings police and community members together for 2-week trainings to talk about the thorniest issues facing both sides: race, trauma, violence, and social and economic inequities. In other words, people with very hard lives and people with very hard jobs doing the hard work of what this country needs and lacks most right now: listening.
You go to someone's house, you have no idea what's in that house.
If you live in the hood, like you said, you didn't grow up in Newark.
I grew up in Newark. I grew up in the hood. I grew up on Garside.
Police officers explain little things, like why they sometimes stand with their hands on their guns, and the big things, the trauma of long days responding to 20 to 30 calls, witnessing violence, and facing unknown dangers.
I can't imagine holding a dead baby in my arm at 9 o'clock in the morning and having to deal with a domestic at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
And the 5 officers here today get an earful too. Community members talk frankly about the fear and mistrust of police in a town where the force is under federal oversight for a long-standing pattern of corruption, excessive force, and racially disparate treatment.
A vehicle that we hope helps peel some of those layers back so each side is better informed through a trauma-informed lens as to why that relationship has been so strained and so difficult, right? But more importantly, for law enforcement officers to understand whether they're the good guy or not, this historical trauma is real.
And so as Newark and the nation try to figure out what that road between trauma and trust looks like, you can't sit in this room for long without realizing that at least some stretch of their road, no doubt, looks like this. Everyday people in a room, face to face.
So it's heavy work, but it's work that has to happen if we're ever going to bridge this gap.
I'm Brian Donahue. That's Positively New Jersey.
He's right. Can't move forward without discussing it. A total of 600 people have completed the Trauma to Trust workshops, including 250 Newark police officers.